Hail and welcome to all who attend. Welcome to the stead. To those online, hail and welcome. Once a year, the U.S. government appoints a time where one may enter the winds in search of game with which to feed our families. This time is upon us, and we celebrate the hunter, the spirit of the animal that gave its life to sustain another, the spirits of the forest who granted a hunter safe passage through their domain and a nurtured game of adulthood. We honor the gods and goddesses of the forest and the hunt. We of the Ossipee community and the wolves of the North Kindred give this honor. Those officiating are myself, Will Phillips, Dalton Brennan, Jeffrey Cook, and Stanford.
Gentle, those who dwell in this stead, we call to you. We seek you no harm. Join us in this rite or leave this area as it suits you. The earth is hallowed ground. The water is sacred streams of life. The air is cleansed of all who seek harm, and the fire of life is sustained. The gates are open, and the circle is closed.
Hamri Nodri, Helga Vek detta uppehållvård. Hamri Otri, Helga Vek detta uppehållvård. Hamri Sudri, Helga Vek detta uppehållvård. Hamri Vestri, Helga Vek detta uppehållvård. Hamri ifrån mig, Helga Vek detta uppehållvård. Hamri under mig, Helga vet detta och håll vård. Hamar, Helga vet detta och håll vård. You are not consecrated in blood with the vineroot of the wolf. Now we ask all to take a horn and cup and fill it with the sacred mead. When the blood of Cavasso come forth the meat of wisdom and understanding, my own is coming secured, might all remember and utter Veiðablôt. Hail.
Hail.
In winter, School was out in the forest, hunting a particularly elusive elk. Yew bow in hand, he skied slowly through the soft powder, tracking the deer. Suddenly, his ears picked up the sound of rustling bushes, an odd sound considering all of the underbrush was bare of leaves. No, it was movement. So Ull followed as swiftly and silently as he could. Soon, he could see a dark shape flitting over the hills ahead. He was unsure, but it must be the hunt. What else could it be? He skied onward, but seemed to get no closer to the shape ahead of him. Finally, Ull drew in close enough for a good shot. And when the figure paused on a hilltop, he swiftly pulled out his bow, bent and smoothly released one perfectly fledged arrow. It flew straight and true, as he knew it would. But as he let it fly by, the figure turned, and Ull saw it to be the beautiful and strong giantess, Skadi. Ull gasped in horror at what he had done, but before he had finished breathing, a fierce winter wind whipped up into a whiteout, obliterating everything in his vision. Now Ull feared even more, for Skadi was surely wounded, perhaps even dead, and he was powerless to help her. He shouted her name and struggled toward where he'd last seen her, but his skis were hampering his progress. Not only was it windy, but the snow was now coming down in piles, small drifts forming over his skis and making it hard to move. He wasted precious moments to bend down and untie them, slinging both skis and his bow over his shoulder. Ull surged through the snow with all of his strength, but without his skis, he soon sank up to his waist. He tied his skis horizontally to his waist, so he would sink no further, and began to swim through the snow. He swam for hours, until finally, when his fierce strength was nearly exhausted, the storm stopped, and he could only lean forward onto the snow and sleep. When Ull awoke, the snow around him was melting, and a soft clatter could be heard, like rocks tumbling against each other. He carefully extracted his aching body from the remaining snow, strapped his skis back on, took out his bow, and pushed forward, skiing onward. As he went, the snow continued to melt, until he finally had come to remove his skis and wherever he walked. It was unseasonably warm. So he stowed his skis and winter gear beneath a large tree and walked on. Soon, he came to a small clearing and saw an amazing sight. There, in the center, the huge tapu of Yggdrasil plunged downward into the earth, surrounded by a tangle of corally roots that had been intertwined in the semblance of a wall. At the base of the roots dwelled a small stream, the well of Ur. There, at the edge of the well, sat Ur herself, that wizened crone, holding cloth. Gardandi stood at the loom. The clacking sound was coming from her stone weight swinging into one another as she wove the cloth that Ur had unfolded. Skuld sat leaning against Yggdrasil, spinning yarn, her foot reaching out from time to time to drop spindle spinning. You have been a bad thing, Skuld said in her stony voice, intense edge of the clearing, expecting the word. Skadi is not dead, Verdandi said, smiling at him. Ull immediately relaxed in his relief. That is good to know, he smiled at him. That may be, reported Skuld. You haven't much time. A chill crept down to his spine. Skuld was the youngest and most beautiful, but also the most fearsome of the two. It was she who spun men's fates, straight into Verdandi's blue, so that she might follow the path of their lives. When they were finished, Ur snipped them from the loom and folded them and sorted until Dragon. Skadi has fled to Thrymheim. It was she who called the storm, Ulf stated gravely. She is there now, for Dundee added. You must go to her, Ulf commanded. Only then can things move you. Ulf did not say a word, but merely bowed and left the clearing quickly. He raced back to his gear, strapped his skis on, took off, climbed over the hillsides, and dodged in trees at every turn. Before long, he came to the hall of Thrymheim, which seemed to go straight out of the side of the mountain. Poole set out to climb the mountain. Before he could do so, an arrow flew out of the foothills and landed precisely at his feet. Carved on the shaft of runes, "Go away." Poole shook his head. He had taken the task by Ord and given a task by Skull. He must continue on. No other arrows hindered his way as he climbed along the crag. The ski strapped to his back. Finally, he reached the gates of Thrymheim and pounded on the door. At this point, Knight and Bjorn's Vaxi was making their way across Ymir's skull, and the wolves began to howl plaintively. He thought of Skull and Hati had Rosbud's son. Soon, the moon would be changed across the sky. The wolf drew his sword at this point and pounded on the great door with the pommel. He raised an arm to pound again, and suddenly the door swung open. There, Skadi stood, bow drawn, a fierce, sharp arrow just leveled between his nails. "How dare you raise a sword against me?" she cried, pulling the bow back even further. "It was accidental," Poole hastily explained. "I thought that you were a heart I had been tracking." Skadi's eyes narrowed, and Poole could see that she did not believe him. "I came to apologize for my ill-thought actions. I'm glad that you're not hurt." Her eyes flashed, furious, but she lowered the bow, and Poole could see a bloody bandage on her arm. "Who said I'm not hurt?" Poole's eyes widened and shut. "But for Dundee, she said what?" Skadi demanded. "What did she say?" "Only that you were not dead," Poole replied, caught in his assumption. Skadi grunted in disbelief, and walked away from the door. They left the door open. Poole followed her into the great hall. A huge fire in the center of the hall, and several small but fierce alcoves lounged on the stone floor. Skadi went to the table, poured a quart of mead, and sat, cursing Poole to do likewise. He did. She handed up the horn. "Frank," she blurted. Surprised, Poole did as she commanded. "I suspect that there is more to this incident than meets the eye," she said, when he had drained the horn dry in a single draught. "I suspect the trickster might have been involved." "Loki?" Poole said grimly. "I must confess it does not surprise me." "Nor I," she replied, and paused. "Who would consider foregoing the competence if you do something?" Poole leaned forward. "And what is that?" "Give Loki a speech." Skadi grinned at the thought. "Something appropriate, of course." Poole smiled. "I have just the thing." The next morning, Poole went on his way a happy man. Skadi had been a most accommodating hostess, and Loki was in for an unpleasant surprise. Out in the wood, a hart bounded, terrified for its life. Loki had been out for a little fun with some of the does of the wood. Found himself suddenly hunted yet unable to shoot back into his original form. So onward he bounded, deeper into the forest. The snow was deep, it grew thin, and in a flash, Loki had passed word as well. A cackle of laughter followed him all the way. Poole nodded to the North with a smile as he tried leisurely after the hart. He was about to get to do, for Loki was headed directly for Thrymheim. Soon, Loki cleared the last log and came to the foothills directly beneath Thrymheim. He stopped in his tracks, trembling all over. He knew now what was going on. He was being punished. It was fun the other day. And sure enough, Skadi emerged from the mists, bow in hand, dogs in tow. Poole cleared the forest behind him. Loki was trapped and he knew it. He bounded away. The Skadi loosed an arrow and grazed his right foreleg. Retribution for her injury. Her outhounds surrounded him, jumping and barking and nipping at his neck. The terror of a heart overtook Loki's sensibilities, and he took off in flight. For good measure, Ua loosed one more arrow, landing firmly and safely in the heart's rump. Not a painful wound, but a painful one. The hearts chased Loki all the way back to Asgard, practically to Gimli, where he suddenly shifted back into his god form, and an arrow protruding from his ass. The gods had all had a good laugh, and Loki was far from amused. When told the story, even Odin deemed it fair, so there was nothing Loki could have done to retaliate. After that, all visited the forest surrounding Turnheim more frequently, and by their will, the Norns chuckled, satisfied with the way things had turned out. Even the most unsightly ill cloth we made beautiful with just one simple change to pattern.
Sky, Queen of Thrymheim, Thiazi's heir, Lady of the Mountains, Mistress of Ice. You who fled the sea, to dwell in the permafrost of mountains, cold and gray. The glaciers, your fields. On skis swift, you seek your prey. Your bow is strong, the arrow true, to the mark flies. Your arm strong flings the spear, meets the heart, and it dies. Blood stains the snow, freezing as the circle grows. Now all in your home, sustenance will know. Skadi, we hail you, the scathing wind, the bitter chill you will embrace. Lady of the Northlands, mistress of snow and snow. We call you to join us, lend us your might. You have given us strength in the game you provide. Hail and welcome, goddess of winter.
Hail, Skadi.
Uller, god of the hunt, Baron of Yagdavid, Asir, god of the wood. To Skadi's domain you boldly go. You brave the wind, the cold, and the snow. Shooting on skis, the prowess you show. You give us food and grain stores run low, and entertain us with games while the cold wind blows. Son of Sif, stepson of Thor, Uller we call you, master of the bow. You craft your strong bow from the trees of your harrow, then seek out game, bringing meat back to your barrow. Hail and welcome, hunt massive. Leidras, Hail Uller.
Hail Uller.
Destroyer, breaker of chains. Vigilant seeker of justice for the wrongfully accused and punished. Ferocious, your fangs seek out the blood of the wrongdoer. You seek balance with vigor. You deign to create equality within nature. The primal force of justice, you break the chains that hold us. You desire nature to take its course, and let the strong survive. Fenrir, Bane of Odin, we hail you. Son of Loki, son of the rich. Your power and strength we seek. Hail and welcome.
Hail.
Oh!
We have honored some to seek to honor all. We call upon those who ride in the Uve that are wolf hunters, Odin, gods, and Valkyrie. We honor the wolves, Hati and Skor, who continuously hunt the sun and moon, therefore keeping the balance of day and night and ensure the tides rise and fall. Hail to the hunters of the Nilheim. Be welcome among us. Hail.
Hail.
We wish honor the gods and Vatir with gifts given back from this year's hunt. Now we bring our gifts to them and hail them. Hail.
Hail.
Thanks to all who have joined us from the Walden North Kindred and the Asatru community. Thanks to the gods of the hunt and the land Batir for the blessing they've given through this time of the hunting. We ask pardon to the Batir trapped in our circle during the rite, and pardon from those seeking to enter. The water is water, the earth is earth, air is once again air, and fire is now fire. The gates are closed and the circle is open. The rite has ended, let it be so. Go in peace. Hail the Asir.
Hail.
Hail the Vanir.
Hail.
Hail the Yopnar.
Hail.
Hail the Desir.
Hail.
Hail the Batir.
Hail.
Hail the wolves of the North Kindred.
Hail.
And hail the Asatru community.
Hail.